So welcome to Online Statistics. This is Math 201, Sections 2 and 3. And that's the first thing I think I might mention is that this class filled up right away. I was able to convince the dean to add a section of this class. And what she said, as long as we get 8 students, she'll let this class run. Well, that was Friday when this opened, and I already got on my list 14. So if you're worried about whether the class is running, there's no problem. It will definitely run. So that's the good news. Everyone is here. We'll be able to take the course. No one gets dropped or anything like that. So again, this is Online Statistics, Elementary Statistics and Probability. And my name is Larry Green. I like to be called Larry if possible, but I'll answer to whatever you want to call me. Green is fine. Dr. Green, Larry, hello, that's fine too. Whatever you want to address me as is good enough. And we're going to be using all kinds of tools for this class. I tend to be a techie, and if I find something that I think is going to be really good for helping you learn statistics, I try to pick it up and make that work for you. If you've taken a previous online class at this college, it's very different than other online classes. Even if you took it with me last year, there's going to be a lot of differences because we've changed books and learning systems for various reasons. So that's the first thing. What I want to do is get you used to this particular forum that we're in now, or this particular system, and that is how to use the whiteboard, how to use the checks, and how to use the happy faces. So let's start with the happy faces. So if you can click on a happy face and let me know you know how to click on a happy face and you're happy, then I know everyone's on board. And I'll keep watching. What the happy faces are is a way to, it looks like all of you figured it out. It's a way of letting me know that you're happy or that you understand. It's a good idea, and I'll often ask you to do that. And it's a quickie. It turns on, flashes for a little bit, and then turns off. And then if you're really confused about something or don't like something, you can click on the unhappy face. So why does everyone try clicking on the unhappy face, even if you're in a good mood right now? Okay, Sarah, thanks for coming. We're playing around with some of the icons we've got. We got a happy face and an unhappy face. Okay, so let's try this one. Give me a green check. Give me a green check if you can hear me. And that's going to stay on. So give me a green check if you can hear me. And if you can't, then I'm going to assume that you can't. So that's Sean O'Leary and Sarah B. So let me put it in the chat box, because if I ask you if you can hear me, obviously if you can't hear me, you won't know. All right, here we go. So only Sean. So Sean, can you hear me? So somehow let me know you're alive if you can hear me. And if you can't, I'll assume, good, you can hear me. Good, good. Okay, oh good, welcome, Camilo or something, 85. Always better when you log in the future, if you can give your name, then I won't call you C. Camilo, I'll actually call you by who you are, which is a little nicer. Okay, Chantel, okay. So next time just type in Chantel when you log in so that I know how to call you who you are, which is always better. So we're practicing a little bit with what the CCC Confer has to offer. Okay, so let's try this one. I'm going to turn off the checks and X's. Give me a green check if you are a Tahoe resident, and a red X if you live somewhere other than Lake Tahoe area. Okay, so it's pretty close to half and half. That's 6 versus 2, 4, 5, yeah, so it's as close as you can get with an odd number. And that's how it was actually to the first orientation, so there's nothing statistically relevant about that. So it looks like half of you are from Lake Tahoe and half of you are not from Lake Tahoe. And I'll talk about how to deal with not being from Lake Tahoe and still taking the test. Some of you have already communicated with, but I'll get to the syllabus and discuss it in depth. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is play a little bit. And what I mean by play is that next to the whiteboard, there are a bunch of little icons. There's an A icon, there's a little pen icon, a highlighter icon, squares and circles, cameras. And what I want you to do is just play around. And make the board beautiful or a mess, depending on the eye of the beholder, and see if you can kind of experiment with what you can do. Also on the bottom, there's some markers Once you click one of these things, sometimes you get to change colors, and you'll notice you can do that. And just kind of experiment, spend a minute or two playing around. See if you can make it other than black. That's a little trick for you. Aha, we got a red circle. You're exploring with the font. You can explore with fonts. You could explore with the writing that we can do. And some of you are putting some icons in. Okay, you can even put pictures in it if you want. You can capture your desktop and paste it in. What I tend to do, though, normally, not this time, is I have it kind of one at a time because you can see what happens to the board if everyone goes at once. But for now, let's everyone play at once. So I just want to make sure you get familiar with the tools. And if you get stuck on some of these tools, let me know and I'll help you out. Welcome, Ignacio. Thanks for coming. Right now we're playing with the board, and there's some icons. Ignacio, you can join in too. Pretty soon there won't be much white space left to play with, but that's fine. I know how to erase everything. Let's start over. Okay. And from time to time, I'm going to ask you to put things in. Aha! Someone just did a paste of your particular desktop. Okay. So from time to time, I'll ask you to put things in, answer questions, or whatever by playing with the whiteboard. I'm using the whiteboard a lot for my regular lectures. Today, you won't see it too much, but for my regular lectures, I'll have part PowerPoint, part whiteboard below it, and I'll be writing. I'll have you write some stuff too. Okay, any questions? Any questions about the whiteboard and things that you can do with it? Okay, I also have the ability to turn it off if it gets kind of off. But normally I'll leave it on for you guys. Just also a note, I have a choice on the chatting, and the way I choose for the option is that if you put a chat in, everybody sees it. Because I want this to be a group at which you feel comfortable expressing what you need to express with everybody. If you want to talk to me personally, then that's a good thing to do by email or by calling me on the phone or coming to my office hour if you live locally. But during our lessons that we have, I want to make sure that you feel comfortable expressing what you need to express as a group. Any questions so far? So I haven't talked about the details of the class, but just how to kind of use the tools of this particular session. Okay, just to note, this forum, this CCC Confer it's called, I use it for my lectures that I give twice a week. I also use it for virtual office hours. So if you want to talk to me one-on-one or one-on-a-few in office hours, I can use this board. Also the tutors, if you want tutor sessions and you live far away and you don't want to come to the college, the tutors are available by appointment, and they'll use this board too. They're trained in that. When we do the one-on-one, we can also use the webcam so that you can be on the webcam also. What I find is that if everyone is using audio and webcam, there's feedback issues and some bandwidth issues. So, but for one-on-one, it works real well. Also, we can use the old-fashioned telephone. That can work for talking. Okay, any questions so far just about this format? Okay. Another thing is that these are all archived. So I don't know if you heard at the very beginning, for those who came early, it said, I think session begins or something like that in some woman's voice. And that means that this is becoming a video. So if you want this closed caption, if you're hard of hearing and you want this closed caption, there's not a problem. You just have to let me know ahead of time, and I'll get this closed caption. The state pays for it, so it costs to the state. But if you need a closed caption, there's no issue on it. But you have to let me know. So, any questions so far? Okay. Also, if you put something in the chat box and I don't notice it, maybe you have a question and you want to be heard, and I've kind of ignored you, which I try not to do, but I do my best keeping one eye in the chat box and one eye on the whiteboard or whatever else I'm doing. Then if you raise your hand, so there's a little hand with a little green arrow, then it beeps and I can hear you and I'll know that you're raising your hand. So why does everyone try raising your hand, just for fun? And you should hear the beeping as it happens. Okay, raising your hand is different than clapping. So clapping means, yes, I'm excited. Raising your hand is the hand with a green arrow. You see that? You walk into clap 2, but the clap doesn't make a noise, so it's a little harder for me to see. You can have a down arrow, and those are basically happy faces and sad faces. Okay, any questions on using that tool? Okay, let me unraise your hands. And let me jump to the syllabus. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to share my desktop, which is a nice thing about this tool is I can do that. This is like Skype, but a lot better because it has more tools. So in a second or two, you will see my desktop. Okay, give me a green check if you can see my desktop right now. You should be able to see it, and you should see the syllabus. Okay, I believe I've emailed this to everyone. Elena, good, everyone can see it? Good. I've emailed the syllabus to everybody, I believe. So this is online, and there's lots of ways of getting to it. One is just clicking the link on the email. The other is on the Moodle, which I'll show you in a little bit. The other is through the college. So there's lots of ways of getting to the syllabus, and it's important. So let me go through the syllabus and kind of what to expect in the class and some of the links. So first thing, Math 201, it's an online class. So if you've never used a computer before, this is a bad class for you. So it's real important that you're comfortable with computers. You don't have to be a programmer, but you should know how to use the internet and kind of work around a little bit with the computer because we're going to be learning using the computer environment. The title is Elementary Statistics and Probability. It's 5 units. So let me give you kind of the bad news. What that means is that it's about 15 hours a week of work. And that should hopefully get you through the course. Some people need a little more, some people need a little less. But 15 hours is about what's expected. So a couple hours a day, 7 days a week, or 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, depending on how you like to work. And there is a lot of work in this class, I want to be honest. Those who do the work almost always make it through. Those who don't do the work almost always don't make it through. So, it's your choice. By signing up and continuing, you're saying that you're ready to do the work. Okay, again, I've talked about who I am. Just a couple notes about my background. I've been teaching at this college. This is my 16th year of teaching here. I've taught at pretty much all the public institutions in California. So I've taught at Sonoma State University, so Cal State system. I taught at UCLA, which is the UC system. I also taught upward bound with the high school program and a little middle school program. And I taught first grade, which I thought was the most fun, actually, because those little kids are the cutest. Hopefully you agree. So I've taught in all the systems, and I do my best. So I'm teaching at a community college system. And if you are from another system and taking this class, it's basically the same everywhere. Statistics is statistics is statistics, whether it's taught at a Cal State or taught at a UC or a community college. It's the same class, same material. That's the good news. So that's my background. I've also done some consulting work, pays a little bit extra money. So I've worked for the Forest Service and done some statistical consulting. And I've also been an expert witness in some law cases a couple times. So a couple of little things. So that's my background at math-wise. And I've been in Tahoe for a while, since I've been here 15 years ago. And I love the area. My phone number is here. I answer. I'm in my office pretty much, but not all the time. 541-4660, extension 341. But the easiest way of getting a hold of me is through email. So that's drlarrygreen@gmail.com. I check my email at least 100 times a day. So I will get back to you pretty quickly. Okay, usually within hours. If I don't get back to you within a day, within 24 hours, I'm probably dead. So I will get back to you. That's the answer. I will let you know if there's some power outage or something. That could happen, but I don't think we've ever had a whole day power outage. So I will get back to you. So feel free about emailing me, and I'll email you back, no problem. The Moodle webpage, and this, I just finally got hooked up. Give me a green check if you got an email from me about the Moodle now being up. So you should have all gotten an email because I sent an email to everybody. I'm hoping that works. I do a lot of communication via email. Good. Okay, now give me a happy face if you actually went to that link and logged in, and a sad face if you couldn't log in. You tried but couldn't do it. Oh, good. So it worked. Oh, good. I know that you may or may not like this. It looks for all of you. The no sad faces, that makes me feel good, and most of you are happy. So I know that this is going to be a little bit tough on you guys, but a lot of the stuff that I'm doing this quarter is new. Okay, not statistics. I've known statistics for a long time, but some of these pages are new. So there might be some typos, and let me know if there are, and I'll fix them right away. Because what I'm trying to do, because I know the economy is terrible, give me a happy face if you're rich, and give me a sad face if you're not rich. Okay, that's what I kind of expected. I'm seeing a lot of unhappy faces. The economy sucks right now, and I don't want to make you guys spend $200 on a textbook and course management system, or $150, which is what it used to cost. Okay, so the good news is that everything we're doing in this class, other than registering for the class, because that's just legal, is free. And the other thing is this calculator is going to cost you a little bit of money. So, but I'm really trying to make it a little easier on you economically. So the Moodle is free, the textbook is free. So that's the good news. So you won't have to pay for it. The bad news is it's free because I made this Moodle stuff, and this is the first time we're using it. So there might be some typos, and I'll do my best to fix them. But do your best to let me know so I can fix them. Okay, the Moodle, let me go to the Moodle without clicking the link so we don't leave it. That's not the Moodle. There's the Moodle. Can you all see the Moodle? Give me a happy face if you see the Moodle. It should say Moodle on your screen. Good, good. Sometimes I don't trust myself that you actually are looking at what I'm looking at, but you're supposed to. This is the Moodle. This is the course management system. If you use Etudes, or if you use Desire to Learn, or Blackboard, or any of those other ones, it's very similar to that. Okay? The little buttons are in different places, but it's the same idea. So what this does is it gives you the weekly outline. It will have the PowerPoints that I give. So tomorrow I'll be giving a PowerPoint, and I'll post that up for you. It also has links. So it has a link to the textbook, okay, or a link to how to get onto the textbook. It has a Q&A forum. Let me click that because that's really important. So if you have questions, so far I'm the only one that's posted in there, but I'm hoping that you guys post. So if you have questions about anything about the course that isn't personal, okay, so if it's, you know, I'm sick right now, I'm not going to make it, you don't need to post that. You can email me that or something. But if it's, I don't understand how to do homework problem 4, or I'm confused about the difference between a population and a sample, you know, if it's anything that has to do with statistics, or do we really need to have a partner for our project, those are things that I'd rather see you post in the Q&A forum than email me, because other people can benefit from that. So it should be easy. Give me a happy face if you have ever used a discussion forum, and a sad face if you've never used a discussion forum. Okay, good. I'm seeing mostly happy faces. Ignacio, it's not too hard, I promise you. But this is a discussion forum. I posted one thing. You can reply to this discussion forum pretty easily. So if you go to the discussion by clicking, is this class easy? And I said, I think it's easy, but it probably isn't for you, by the way. And you hit reply, and then you type in reply and say what you think. Okay, so Q&A because it's question and answer. Okay, or whatever you want to put in it. Okay, any questions on that? Any questions? Okay, so let me go back to the stat. So other things that you'll notice, a biggie that you'll notice on this is that, let's see, let me turn the editing off so it looks like what you'll be looking at, is that you'll see Chapter 1 quiz. Does everyone see that? Give me a happy face if you see Chapter 1 quiz. Okay, that's the first thing that's due for credit. So when you click that, it'll say, please attempt all the given questions. It's recommended that you keep a journal that includes the interpretation and reasoning behind your answers. Okay, so even though it doesn't ask for it, you want to do that so that you get practice for the test, because the tests all have reasoning and interpretation and writing. So for me, it says preview quiz now. I think for you, it'll just say take the quiz. I'm an instructor, so it's a little different for me. And then here's the quiz. I've mixed it up with some matching, multiple choice, little number answers. Okay? And it's got, this quiz has As you'll see, 19 questions I put on it. And then once you're done, you click Submit. Maybe I'll answer a few of these just so that you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll get some points on it. I'm not paying attention, so I'm probably getting them all wrong. Maybe I'll get one that's right. How about this one? Determine whether the following is an example of a sampling error or non-sampling error. A sociologist surveyed 300 people about their level of anxiety on a scale of 1 to 100. Unfortunately, the person inputting the data into the computer accidentally transposed 6 of the numbers, causing the statistics to have error. That happens to be a non-sampling error. I'm sorry, that's a non-sampling error. So let's submit and finish. And it says you're about to close this attempt. Once you close the attempt, you'll no longer be able to change your answers. I'm going to click OK. And of course, I did terrible on this one. Okay, but I got something right. You'll notice that it gives you feedback. So if it's correct or incorrect, it'll tell you what's correct. And on the feedback, you can read through the feedback. It'll tell you what's right and what's wrong. And it'll go from there. Okay, if you don't like your score, and I'm hoping on this one, since my score was 6%, that's kind of bad, then you can redo the quiz. You could take this quiz as many times as you'd like, and only the highest score counts. Okay? But there's a deadline. You have to turn the quiz in by the deadline, and it says, I think it said over here on quizzes, let's go back to Chapter 1 quiz, and it says quizzes closes on Sunday, September 25th at 11:55 p.m. So you have to finish your quiz by then. I recommend really attempting to finish a quiz and make it satisfactory by Saturday instead of Sunday, so that if something goes wrong, you got an extra day. Always a good idea. Good idea in life to have a little buffer time. Any questions on what to expect on these quizzes? Any questions on that? Okay, there is one quiz. So let me go back to stat. There is one quiz that I'm actually calling an exam that's different. You're only allowed to take it once. It's a lot more points, and it covers all of chapters 1 through 6. And it has to be done by October 20th. Don't start now because you haven't learned chapters 1 through 6. So when you've felt comfortable on the rest of the quizzes, you've learned the chapters, you're ready to go for it, take the quiz, give yourself some hours to do it because it's a long one. And that's your one big online test. Okay, any questions on that? So once you try this one, it's over. It's closed. You can't ever take it again. Okay, so hopefully you're getting a feel for the way this works. Over on the right-hand side, you'll notice that there are links. Virtual Classroom is what we're in right now, actually. That's this whole online lecture system that I'm using. Archive lectures, let me click that. There's lots of ways to get to this. This is also from the syllabus, you can get there. Also, I emailed you the archive lectures, and that's a link. And can you see that? I'm not sure. When things pop up, sometimes you can't see that. Give me a happy face if you can see archive lectures 1 through 111, and give me a sad face if you can't see it. Okay, good, you can. Sometimes pop-ups can be seen, sometimes you can't. Okay, you'll notice that archive lecture 111 was given on September 18th, 2011. That was yesterday. So remember, I gave this lecture, this orientation yesterday also, so that's playable. Tomorrow I'll be giving at 6 o'clock a lecture, my first regular statistics lecture. And if you can't make it, then you can always watch it archived. Okay, you won't be able to ask questions during it because it's just a video. But at least you'll be able to see the content in the lecture. Any questions so far? I'm going to close this out. So it's kind of, you have to go all the way to the bottom to be able to see it. That's one thing to know. Okay, so anyhow, your grade book right now, there are no grades. But if you go to grades, I think it's that one, then you'll have your grade report. Right now, no one's turned anything in, and it'll just show your grades. It won't show everyone else's. If I go in through me, it shows everybody's. Okay, so you'll be able to find out how you've done. So far, you haven't done anything yet. Let me go back to the syllabus. So I've talked about a few things live lectures and office hours, that's where we are now. Archived lectures we just went to. Again, it's a web, so there's different ways of getting to the same site. Lecture notes, these are a bit older, but they can't hurt to look at, and they also don't use the calculator as much. But they have some ideas also. Let me get back. Not that one, sorry. Video examples are really helpful to most students. I have created a whole set of video examples that are catered towards the TI-84 Plus calculator, and it has most of everything that we do in this class as an example of all the stuff, especially the things that you got to calculate. And let me pick one, I don't know, just randomly pick one. How about hypothesis tests, interpreting alpha and p? We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I want to give you an idea of what they look like. Okay, again, I'm not going to watch this whole video. My recommendation on using this video is go to the beginning, and it will give you a question. Okay, a statistics question, something you might see in an exam or in a quiz, and see if you can figure out how to do it. If you can figure out how to do the question, not this one because you haven't learned this stuff yet, but when it comes time to it, and I'll send you weekly a list of videos that might be interesting to look at. And then watch the video and see if you got it right. Okay? Because the video goes through and it gives you all the steps on how to do this problem. At the very end, it will have everything that's happened. So again, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but maybe the last few seconds. So there's the whole problem finished. So I recommend, again, trying these videos out. It's a good way to study for tests. It's a good way to practice. And again, you get the full workout example in full audio, visual, and good graphics. Any questions on this? Okay, so next are interactive applets. So this is a list of Java applets. I'm a computer programmer also. It's kind of a hobby and it's part of my job too, I guess. But it's something I like to do. And I've created all kinds of applets. These review ones you'll find a little helpful. And I'll let you know when there's a good applet to use. And those are Java applets or Flash applets. Okay. Someday, if I ever get a cell phone, I don't have a cell phone. If I ever get a smartphone, I'll do some kind of like iPhone little apps. But right now, they're Java and Flash just don't work on the iPhone. Someday that'll change. Okay, the textbook is, again, very different than a regular textbook. First thing, it's free. I'm hoping you like that. And second, I like to think of it as more of a learning system than a textbook. So let me take you to the textbook. And I think the easiest way, I use Firefox. It works better on Firefox. So let me take you to the textbook by taking my Firefox. Is it letting me do that? Interesting. I have a dual monitor, and the Firefox was on the other monitor, so it wouldn't look at it. Okay, can you all see the textbook? Let me close this up, and let me go to the table of contents. Okay. Oh, I don't want to sign in. It should have already happened. All right, it's not letting me in. Let's see, let's try this. Huh. That's where it was working earlier today, but it should work for you. But there's a whole system on how to use the textbook. That's why I decided, maybe because I'm in multiple programs and it's freaking out a bit. Hopefully, I've never had this happen before, and hopefully it won't for you either. Well, let me try. I think it's just that. We'll see. I have two choices on what my password might be. I'm using so many programs at once, it may not like it. It's loading. Okay, so here's the textbook. Good, I got it in. Now you should be able to see it. And then it made me log in again. So this is the textbook, and again, it's online. I'm seeing if I can make it available at the bookstore if you're interested, and that you can either come to the bookstore or you can probably order it and they'll mail it to you. They're thinking it's going to be maybe about $25 or $30 if you want the book in print, which is still a whole lot cheaper than what you would pay if you had to buy a regular textbook. I think our book went for $180. So if you want it, you can get it in print, and he's ordering it right now and seeing how long it will take. So this is the book, and let me show you in particular a few things. One, you'll notice that in the book, they have videos. This is more than just a book, and of course, if you order a print, you don't get a video on the print. Anyone recognize this? This guy? Anyone recognize this guy? It's kind of a famous guy that they put in. I need to recognize it. Who is it? This is Khan. Do you have the Khan Academy? Give me a check if you've heard of the Khan Academy and a Red X if you've never heard of it. Red X? Okay, maybe you haven't. Okay, kind of famous. He's got all kinds of stuff. So they put in some Khan Academy videos in there, which are all right. I like that videos better. But also, there's some of mine too later on in the book. So let me show you. Let me get to it. One thing that they're working on is better navigation so that we don't have to flip through this so much. You can just go right to the homework if you need to. But the hope is you read the book and then you click on the homework. And there's the homework. And in the Moodle, I've already said what I recommend is try all the odd questions, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, all the way up to 27. And then if you can't do an odd one, if you get stuck and you need help, then try the even one so you can get it. Because it's important that you figure this stuff out. I'm there to help you, put it in the discussion for Q&A, saying, I didn't understand problem number 17. Could you help me on that? And I'll be happy to do this. Homework is, a lot of these problems are written, so if you don't turn these in, but if you don't do it, you're going to struggle in this class and you won't do well. So promise me, give me a happy face if you promise to do the homework, and a sad face if you don't think you can do the homework. Okay, because again, it's really important that you actually do the homework. And then if you have questions on it, some of the answers are in there, some of them are not. If you have questions, I'll be happy to give you any answer to any of the problems in full detail. As you get to louder, the volume is all the way up on my computer. Okay, give me a green check if you can hear me well, and a red X if you can't. See if it's you or if it's everyone. Okay, it looks like it's your computer, Amy. That's going to be a hard one for me to answer. Yeah, headphones is a good idea. So, and by the way, it doesn't have to be regular headphones. It could be one of these guys. Do you have one of these? Either an iPhone, iPod, which I've got, because I don't have a cell phone, or if you got a cell phone with music, just pop them in, put it in the computer, and that should help it go louder. Nice idea, Lisa. Aha, another volume bar below the box. Try that. Below the chat box, that's another way. If you don't have that one all the way up, put that one higher. Okay, so hopefully that'll work for you. I'm talking as loud as I can, and I can't do much more than that or I'll lose my voice, so I'll be screaming. Okay, and I got my webcam pretty close, my microphone. Okay, any questions on the book, on the textbook, and how it works? Okay, so there's the book. Let me leave that and come back to the syllabus. Okay, we should be back in the syllabus. And let's go through more course description and student learning outcomes. I'll let you read through that. Again, if you know all this stuff, you probably have already taken statistics and don't need this class. So the hope is that some of the stuff you haven't learned yet. The prereq, if you register for the class, you satisfied the prereq or they wouldn't let you in. If you haven't registered, it is intermediate algebra. Okay, and if you took it at a college, that works. If you took it at a high school and remember it, then we accept any assessment test at any college, including our own, that assessed you, that showed that you knew intermediate algebra. My grading policy is 90, 80, 70, 60 standard. Here's the way the course breaks down in terms of points. The online quizzes, those I showed you from the Moodle, those are 200 points. Okay. The proctored midterm, which has to be done by November 10th, is 200 points, and I'll get into details in a little bit on that. There's 2 projects. Each of those projects are 150 points, and I'll get into more details later on that. And the proctored final exam is December 7th. So that's the breakdown of the course. So here's the exam policy. To the exam, you bring your calculator, and by the way, here's the recommended calculator. You can have a TI-84 Plus, and I'll talk about the others that work. Pen and pencil, of course. Paper, especially if you write large, then you could have paper to write more stuff on to each exam. Okay, you could bring a 3x5, 3-inch, by the way, not foot, 3x5 note card to each exam. And you could put anything you want on that note card, front and back. So I don't believe in making you memorize a whole lot of formulas, but I don't give you open book tests either. So it's kind of a compromise. So that note card is whatever you want to put on it. Okay? I grade on progress towards the final answer. So if you have good thoughts that show that you understand some of the concepts, you'll get some partial credit. If you have no thoughts on showing the concepts, you won't get credit. Okay, so in terms of the exams, we have, again, these two exams, the exams that are, when are they? November 10th and December 7th. You can take it at our assessment center. Okay, our assessment center is actually the Teaching and Learning Center, and they don't charge you. If you're a student at LTCC, taking your exam at our center is free. If you don't want to come to Tahoe, so if you live far away, I know some people live as far as Pennsylvania, then it's kind of far to get here, then you can arrange to have it taken at any official proctoring center. Most colleges and universities have a proctoring center. Most private tutoring centers have a proctoring center. Most of these centers, in fact just about all of them, charge a fee. And it's up to you to pay for that fee. I'm not paying for your fee. So again, it's free here, or if you want to take it somewhere else, it's up to you to pay for the fee. Okay, any questions on that so far? So you make the arrangements. Okay, you make the arrangements. Libraries, some libraries will do it. Not all, but some libraries will do it. Some police stations will also do it. Okay, so libraries, police stations, and if you want to shop, you can shop, find the cheapest place. Sometimes the funny thing is the private places are usually cheaper than the public. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, so can you take it at an earlier date? So here's my rule on the earlier date. You can take it. You can take it by the Saturday before it's due. Okay. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or if it's due Thursday, Thursday's allowed also. So hopefully that'll work for you. That gives you mostly any day of the week. Earlier than that, you haven't learned the material yet, so it's too early to take it. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, what I do if you take it from outside this area, I send it as a PDF file to the center. They print it out, they give it to you, then they scan your test in, and either they email it to me or they fax it to me. Okay, and I give them full instructions on the fact that you can get a note card. You must show your ID when you go take the exam, wherever you take it. So you have to have a picture ID when you take the exam. Okay, that way they know that it's you that's taking it. Any questions so far? Okay, homework. Homework is not turned in, but is essential for the course. Okay, each week the assignment will be posted on the Moodle. So I've already posted that on the Moodle. I posted it actually just before this orientation. It's strongly recommended you keep a journal of the written responses to the homework and the quiz questions, because that will help you get used to the how to write stuff for the exam. Also, sometimes you'll realize that a lot of these questions are very similar, and you can get some of those examples and put those on your little note sheet that you're allowed to take in with you. Okay? Quizzes are due at 11:55 p.m. every Sunday. Okay, so that's just going to happen. After that time, you can't make it up. It's a 0. Okay, it's recommended you complete your quiz by Saturday night. Okay, you don't have to submit your quiz at 11:59 p.m. You can submit it any time earlier than that. Okay, if you don't like your score, you can just retake it, and you'll get the higher of all the scores you take, as long as it's done by 11:59 p.m. on the deadline on that Sunday. Okay, by October 20th, I showed you that was that special online exam. Covers chapter 1 through 6, and it's worth a whole lot more than a quiz. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. There's no time limit for the online exam, and there's no time limit for the quizzes. So you can take as long as you want, up to the due date, of course. Okay, the live webinars, I will be presenting a webinar twice a week. And what I haven't put in the syllabus is something about it, because this is brand new as of today. So twice a week there will be a scheduled webinar, and I will let you know the week before when that schedule is. It will be almost always evenings because most people can make it in the evenings more than in the daytime, as I saw with the doodle that I sent out to everyone. Then I will also give a redundant webinar at your request. So the first person to post on the Q&A forum that says, I can't make the webinar 1, can you do it at this time? Then I'll say yes. Okay, so that's after I post when they are. So not only will I post when they are, I'll also post when I'm not available the following week. I'm never available Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock because I teach another class. I'm typically available the rest of the time, so just ask and I'll make a new webinar time, a redundant webinar that you'll be able to make. So I want to make sure that if you want to make a webinar, I'll do it for you. That's the hope. Okay, for webinar 1 and webinar 2 for each week. Anyone lost in what I just said? I want to make sure that you understand what I'm talking about. Any questions on that? Okay, and you can always ask questions. Okay, and if you can't make either of them, the redundant or the regular one, okay, so Elena, that's a good question. Is it the same material on both webinars? The answer is yes and no. I know that's a weird answer. So let me put it in the chat box because we're on the syllabus. So, for example, this week, there are separate webinars that have different material Tuesday and Wednesday. At 6 o'clock. Okay. On the other hand, if you can't make, say you can't make it to Tuesday. Okay, then, and ask for a rescheduled time, for a new time. Say Thursday at noon. Then the noon webinar will be the same as the Tuesday webinar. Does that answer your question, Elena? So Tuesday and Wednesday will be different, but this redundant one will be the same. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to accommodate you. My goal is to help you as much as you can, as much as possible to learn this material. It's hard in an online environment, so I'm doing my best. Right, you could also watch these in the archives. You can also watch them in the archives. So the archive files, which I've showed you the link to, are available to anyone, but they're mandatory if you couldn't make it to the live one. Okay, so if you couldn't make it to either the Tuesday one or if there was a redundant one, then you must watch the archive one. Okay, and that tells you. I will be giving a secret word at each webinar that you have to email me, whether you make it or not, whether you watch it archived or live, you email me with the secret word, and then I count for attendance. If you don't email me, if you miss 4 of the webinars, I recommend missing none of them, but if you miss more than 4 of the webinars, I will drop you from this course. So it would be really bad if you just didn't watch the webinars. And I know you watched them because you emailed me with the secret word. Any questions on that? Hopefully, Sean, that answers the question. Okay, and by the way, there'll be a secret word at the end of today, too. Okay, and if I can't drop you because it's too late to drop, I just give you an F, and that's ugly. So, again, just watch the webinars and email me. It's not a big deal. They're an hour each, so it's 2 hours a week, and you'll find out they're helpful. Okay, the projects, there are 2 projects for this class. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details of the content of the project because you got to know statistics to understand that. But the first project will be some kind of quantitative stuff. But the main thing is that for the project, you need to find a partner. Now, you can find a partner today if you want. You could use this chat box right now and see if you can find someone that will work for you. What I recommend in finding the partner is you interview the partner and make sure they work well with you. There tends to be 2 types of students. There are the procrastinators, and there are the ones that want to work on it early. You don't want one of each type being partners because you will drive each other crazy. And I do my best to work as a counselor when you start hating each other, but I'd much rather you like each other. And if you have 2 procrastinators working together, you'll tend to like each other. If you have someone who works on it early and another person working on it early working together, then you'll like each other. But if you have one of each, you will hate each other. That's almost a guarantee. So again, make sure that you're with somebody like you. So you are allowed to work with either you and a partner or you and 2 partners. So 2 or 3 people in your partnership is the way it works. You can't have 4. If there's 4 of you that want to work together, split up and make yourself 2 partners, 2 sets. And if you can't work alone, if you're stubborn, for some reason, some people just hate other people. They don't like other people. I think that's sad. But if you're one of those people that just can't work with other people, I will give you a 10% penalty on the project that you submit. And that means you can't get an A. So don't do that. It's much better to work with someone else. On the project, if you email it to me or bring it in at least 24 hours before it's due, then I'll look at it and I'll give you feedback so that you can improve on it. And that's real helpful. It makes a big difference. So highly recommend it. Any questions on that so far? Okay, the Q&A forum I talked about, I showed you what it looks like, so hopefully you got that idea. My office hours, I have personal office hours in my office or the Math Center, 8-10 or the MSC. I can also work with you online at any of these times. Let me know you're going to be online and I'll make sure I'm online too. Any questions on that? I tend to also hang out after class to make sure that you're there. Okay, the calculator for this class, this is an absolute requirement. So sorry, I do my best to make this class inexpensive, but statistics can't be done without a calculator. So the recommended calculator is this one right here. It's a TI-84 Plus. So if you don't already have a calculator, this is the recommended one. If you live near Tahoe or want to come to Tahoe, you can rent it for $10. I've been buying on eBay like a maniac so that everyone has the ability to rent a calculator. Okay. Otherwise, probably the cheapest way, or not probably, the cheapest way is a friend if you happen to have a friend that can give it to you or loan it to you. But if you don't, then eBay is cheap. Otherwise, you can buy it at our bookstore or you can buy it at a Staples or somewhere like that. Has this calculator. If you already own the 83 Plus, that works for you. Or if you own the 89, that'll work, but you'll need to put a plug-in in. And I'll give you some instructions on that. If you're local, you can just connect to my little calculator. It connects. We marry our calculators. There's a little ceremony, and it sends all the stuff you need from my TI-89 to your TI-89. Okay, and that'll work. If you go to our tutor center, they also have one that will plug in. Okay, you might already have it downloaded in. The Nspire also works for this class. Okay, most other calculators do not work for this class. Okay, if you have a learning disability, all accommodations will be met. Just go to our DRC or contact our DRC, and they will help you out and make sure that everything you need is there for you. Tutors are available at no cost. You can either walk into our Math Center, or if you want, if you don't live nearby, you can schedule an appointment with our tutors. You can schedule it through me and I'll make the appointment. You can make it weekly or whenever. And they're around, someone with statistics knowledge is around most of the day up till 6 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and then limited hours on Friday and Saturday. And they will work with you. Okay. The word on honesty, basically, Don't cheat, please. It's not worth it. And I'll give you an F if I find out. You don't want that, so just don't cheat. This is the schedule. Eventually I'll have links, and it'll be on the Moodle too, to the PowerPoints that I'm giving on these weeks. Any questions? Any questions about this course? Any questions? Let's take a little poll. I like to do surveys. Just a note about surveys. If I ask you something, you have to answer. But there's a little caveat on that. If it's personal and you don't feel comfortable answering, you're absolutely welcome to lie. Okay, you don't have to tell me the truth, but you have to answer. Okay, is there 1 or 2 new lectures a week? There are 2 lectures a week, Stephen. I used to do 1, and it just didn't work. It was way too fast, and everybody was lost because there's too much material to do in 1 hour. So now I do 2 lectures a week, and I figure I could do that. In the regular class, it's 5 hours a week, and I cram it into 2, which is pretty fast-paced. Okay, here's the deal, Stephen, about redundant. That's popular demand. So if you want a redundant lecture, I'll make a redundant lecture for you. If nobody asks, I won't give it. So all you do is ask, and the way you ask is you post on the Q&A forum, which I will be checking often. So you could even do that now. And the first person to post is the one to get the redundant lecture time, that time. Otherwise, if you can't make either of them, then you get to watch your archive. So let me put in my chat box my schedule for sure this week. So can't make it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I guess Monday is already over. But so Wednesday and Friday before 11 a.m. because I'm teaching another class. I can't make it on Thursday evening. Sorry, but I have a daughter who's a senior in high school, and it's back to school night, and I don't want to be a dirtbag dad. Sorry, but family's important too. So anyone who's a parent, you should understand too. Okay, so anyway, those are the times I can't make it. I think my schedule is open the rest of the week. Okay? After 10 p.m., you don't want me. I am so tired, you don't want me trying. I'll make too many mistakes. So if you ask for it too late, I'm just too tired. I wake up really early in the morning, though. So that's when I can't make it. So again, if you can't make it tomorrow at 6 or Wednesday at 6 p.m., 6 to 7, then I can make it another time. Okay? And I think, let me quickly check my calendar, but I think that's it. So by the way, here's my email so I can get to my calendar. And I use the Google email because it's more reliable than our college one. So my calendar, that's online orientation. Yeah, I'm free the rest of the time. Just want to make sure before I guarantee it. Okay, any questions? Any questions about the class? Okay, let's see, nothing there. Okay, let me go back to my desktop because I need to give you something really important. And that is the secret word of the day. And there's no way, I have no room to put the secret word of the day because, yeah, so, I have no room to put the secret word of the day because you made a mess of the board, but that's okay. I asked you to. So, secret word of the day, which was also the secret word of yesterday because it was redundant. And it's kind of the words of the quote. I try to make the word a theme word, but it is perseverance, because that's what it takes for this class. Those who persevere through and make it through the class and do all the work, pretty much everybody passes. Almost all of them get A's and B's, actually. So I tend to give good grades for those who make it. Those who do not persevere, okay, they don't make it. Okay, and they usually get W's because they drop before it's over. I'm hoping all of you persevere, but in reality, I know some of you realize that your schedules are too busy or whatever, and you need to take it another time. That can happen too. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you whenever you have questions. Okay? Any questions? So you need to email me before the end of the week the word of the day. And by the way, you're welcome to email me one email with multiple words because there'll be a different word for the lectures. So if you want to email me multiple words, you're welcome to do that. Any questions? Any questions at all about what to expect? So give me a happy face if you feel like you understand what you're getting into better than you did an hour ago. And a sad face if you have no clue. Okay, so it looks like most of you, and by the way, you can notice I can tell whether you're paying attention or not. Because if I ask and no one does anything, then, and you don't answer, I know that you weren't paying attention. So good, I'm glad this helped out. Hopefully you feel like you're up for the task, up for spending the 15 hours a week and working on statistics so you make it. The discussion page is a great way to find a partner for the project. Okay, that's one post that I typically don't answer. I let you guys work it out. So if you go to the discussion page saying, hey, I'm Sean, I'm a procrastinator, honestly I'm going to work on it the day before the project. Is there anyone else like me that wants to do that? Or, hey, I'm Sean, I really want to spend a whole week on this. I'm going to start on this day and work a little each day. Then please work with me. And by the way, I don't recommend procrastination for these projects because there's surveys involved and that can get really tough. Okay, so that's just a note. You know, and I am really anal and I am going to get 100% on this project and I'm going to make it perfect. Do I have someone like that? Please respond. Or I'm kind of a relaxed guy. I want to do well, I want to pass, but I don't need to, you know, I don't need to get 100% and let you know. Next lecture, which I just told you. Next lecture is Tuesday. Actually, I have a whiteboard to write it in. So, webinar 1 is Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. And webinar 2 is Wednesday. And I emailed some of you who registered early for this class at 6 o'clock. What I found is that evenings typically work best for you guys. Honestly, day is easier for me, but evenings work best for you, so I make it evening. Again, if you can't make those days, but you can make a different time, other than the few times I told you I can't make it, post it in the Q&A forum, and I'll post back, and it'll be official. Okay, and I'll make sure that it's posted on the Moodle so that you'll know. And the webinars, all this live stuff is all in the same link that you went to today. Okay? And if you're wondering who Ginni May is, I used to partner up with someone from Sac State and teaches the co-taught class, but she got busy this year, so it's just me this year. And it was too much of a pain for them to change the title. Okay, any other questions? It's 8 o'clock, so if you need to leave, I understand. I tend to stay until the last person has left, kind of like the pilot on an airplane. Okay? Or the last person has stopped, you know, telling me they're alive. So you're welcome to stay and ask more questions. You're also welcome to leave if you need to. So again, thank you for coming. I know your schedules are busy. Okay? Have a good one, Sean. Okay, difficulties on the Q&A page on the Moodle. It's different than on your screen. Okay, let me share my desktop and make sure. Actually, I'll tell you what. It's kind of weird. Do you feel comfortable sharing your desktop? So let me give you that permission. Okay, there's a green button. There's a little computer screen with an arrow. And if you click that, you should be able to share your desktop, and I might be able to walk you through it on the Moodle. And then I can see that if you're in the right place or not. So all of a sudden, we're all going to be looking at Stephen's computer. By the way, Stephen, if you got any naked pictures of yourself, you may not want to do this. Okay, so because we're going to be able to see what you're looking at. Okay, so on your desktop, good. You're going to go to OER Statistics. It's under Sandboxes. So it's kind of in the middle bottom. OER, there you go. Click that. And that's where you want to be. Good, I'm glad you asked because that could be confusing. And then you'll see the Q&A. Good, got it? And you got it. You can post something if you want. And I can see why that would be confusing because you didn't get into the class in the first place. Yep, add a discussion, and then you can put in whatever you feel like. Okay? All I ask is you're professional. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at the question. Okay, how do you end share desktop? You click the green arrow again. I might have to do that for you. Let me try. There. Okay, and then I can take away your permissions. I do that because I don't want someone accidentally sharing some private information to everyone in the world, because that could be embarrassing. Okay, I'm not sure. Again, it's hard for me to know what you're seeing. I'm not sure if you're able to do what I just did for you to unshare. Okay, Lisa, Amy, Suzanne, any questions? Good, I'm glad it was helpful. Lisa, it should look a little different than last quarter, but the statistics are the same. The content's the same. Okay, good, good. Yeah, it should be a little more exciting. It won't be exactly the same. So it should be more interesting. The discussion board, again, do you want to try, Amy? Are you willing to share your desktop? If you like to see it. Okay, so if you click the green arrow, the little computer screen with the green arrow, see later, Suzanne? And then I'll be able to see what you're looking at. It's not the green check mark. There's a computer screen with a green arrow that on that computer screen. It's a little icon. I can show you what it looks like maybe. I'm not sure how to show you that. It's here. There you go. You got it. Okay, you have the same issue. If you click towards the middle of your screen on the bottom is OER statistics. See that? And if you click that, then you'll get to the middle page. Did you find it? No, it's definitely there. Now I'm seeing gray. So it's under sandboxes. It's under sandboxes. There you go. And if you click that, that gets to our class. That's what you want. And then you'll see Q&A forum near the top under weekly outline. And there you go. I'm glad you asked because those people who are watching this in archive, they'll see it also. Okay, good, good. Any other questions, Amy? Okay, well, have a great week, and hopefully you'll come tomorrow if you can make it. Tomorrow at 6. Okay, the orientation is special. Usually it's just twice a week. It's not 3 times. But this week is 3 times so we can do an orientation. Let me unshare. Are you ready to unshare your desktop? Let me unshare for you. Okay, for all those who are watching this as an archive video, thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to email me Perseverance. And hopefully you see me and I see your chat tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock p.m. So goodbye. I'm logging out.